Yeah, so we have a different stages in SDLC. One is requirements gathering, analysis, design, coding, testing, and sign off. Basically installation. So deployment we call that. Final one is a deployment. Uh, so these are the all the stages in any project development. So what is the first phase requirements gathering. Second phase is analysis. Third one is a design. Fourth one is a coding, testing, and deployment. And so any project starts first. There are many people involved in the project. Business analysts or product owners, uh, tech leads, product owners, and developers, testers. Uh, so end users, stakeholders, different stakeholders also present. So all these people will involve in different levels. So we'll discuss one by one each phase overall involved in the one by one. So first requirements gathering, the crucial role is played by product owner or a business analyst. He will gather all the requirements and he will store in one of the area. So maybe based on your tool, which tool we are using, like Jira or ALM or Azure DevOps and different Rally. So different tools are there. So whichever tool you are using and all the requirements are recorded there. So those are when you're using Agile process or whatever it is. So stories or features we call the first feature. A feature contains many stories. It's nothing but a big feature is subdivided into small requirements. That is called stories. So each story and it defines one function, one small function or one feature, that will be defined in very clearly in the story. So in that story, they will tell all the requirements, what it has to do. And so each requirement clearly mentioned in that story. So that I'll show you later. Once it is done, okay. So once the requirements gathering is done and we will discuss all the requirements. Maybe if you are following Agile process, so we have a lot of grooming sessions and PA planning and tech grooming people will call, and there you will refine the requirements. If any story missing and any details that will be added. So all those details will be added in the user stories. And that will be crucial for development and testing team, because based on that only we'll develop and test it. Okay, so that's the crucial part. And once that is done, properly defined, all the requirements ready, then development team will do their task, testing team will do testing task. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. Okay. So that's a requirements phase. In the requirements phase, you will get all the details. So that's a crucial for testers and developers and business people. Mainly business people, they will define the requirements properly. If you are not clear about any requirement, so what you need to do is you can ask in the meetings. Or you can ask to explain more in detailed way about the requirement. And so how they will target each requirement, I'll tell you that. Okay, I'll tell you that. One by one, they will target. Not, all of them they will develop at a time, right? So how they will develop, I'll show you that in the, so another session. So in the feasibility study, who will be the crucial role? Product owner or business analyst? He will gather all the requirements and he will record in one place. So those are called user stories or features. So they will be available in the repository. So they will be available in the repository or backlog, product backlog, we call that. That repository is called product backlog. So product backlog, what will be there? All the requirements. Requirements will be recorded there. So then once that is done, so the meeting will happen. Okay, so this next 10 days, we are going to develop these user stories. For example, 1, 2, 3. 3 user stories we are going to develop for the next 10 days. So developers will pick those 3 user stories and testers will pick those user stories, and each person, they will perform their own tasks. Developer will do his work, tester will do his work. So what tester will do? Tester will read and understand the requirements. So basically, he will understand the requirements and he will understand the requirements. Then he will start designing the test cases in the next phase also, analysis phase. Analysis phase basically, no, it happens just, analyzing the requirements and maybe refining the requirements. More analysis will happen on the requirements. And test case design also will happen here. So developers also will participate from the beginning. Testers also will participate, and other team members also will be there. Your product manager, your manager, QA manager, and development manager, and testers, developers, everybody will be participated in the meetings. So once that is done, so test case design keep going, okay, keep going, and developers so will do their understanding of the requirements. In the design phase, so in the design phase, architect is a crucial person. He will design the application. So like, high level design document, low level design document, he will develop. So maybe it can be done by architect, or technical lead also will be there. So technical lead will prepare. Technical lead will prepare a low level design document. So low level design document is so prepared by technical lead or senior developer in the team, or high level design document is prepared by architect. Okay, so that's a design. So in the design phase, you will get a design documents. In the analysis phase, you will get a requirement documents clear, and you will start designing the test cases, and that's the analysis phase output. So in the analysis phase, system analyst also will be involved, and design phase, architect to technical lead will involve. The output documents of design phase is so high level design document, low level design document. And then in the coding phase, developers and development manager will involve, and they will start writing the code for that so the requirement. So once the coding is done, they will perform the local testing on their machine. So whatever they have coded, whether it is working or not, they will just check in their machine, and then they will deploy in one of the environments. So once it is ready, and they will give it to the testing team. So coding is done, they have to test them. So they have to test them. So how to test them? So unit testing will be performed first by development team. So unit testing means, please understand, they will write a functions, all some code they will write, right? That code is working or not, they will check. Each function is working or not, they will test it on their local machine. That is called unit testing. Unit testing is clearly done by developers. Before coming to the testing team, before the new code is coming to the testing team, developers will test whatever the code they have developed. They will test it. That testing is called unit testing. Testing the small units by the development team on their local environment or local machine is called unit testing. So once that is done, then it will be handed over to the testing team. It will be handed over to the testing team. So in the testing team, when you are handing over to the testing team, so you have to give a report. Development team has to give a report. How many unit test cases passed or failed? You have to show that. So that's a process. If there is a process-oriented company, so you have to show that. Then only they have to deploy in the testing environment. There is an environment for testing. Separate environment will be there. So all the new code they will deploy in the one environment. So that environment testers will use. Environment is nothing but a URL. You will get an URL to test that requirements. So that requirements they will deploy in one environment. That environment details will be given to you. So there you can access in the browser that URL, that environment URL, like how you are accessing gmail.com, right? That's a production server. So now this a testing server, one URL will be there. That URL will be given to you. So once you get a build, that is called build. Build is nothing but a collection of software code is deployed in one environment. That is called this build. Once build is deployed, okay, build is deployed to any environment, testing environment, it will be shared to the testing team. So first, when you get a build, you will perform a smoke testing. So what you will do? You will perform a smoke testing. So the smoke testing, so what is meant by smoke testing? Smoke testing is nothing but a build verification testing. Whether the build is stable or testable or not, you will check. You won't do very, deep, very high level. So you'll just navigate to all the pages and very high level. You don't need to go very deep. So just cursory testing also we call this smoke testing. Smoke testing is nothing but a basic functionality you will check. Okay, basic functionality is working or not. Like, you are testing in Gmail. So basically you are able to log in or not, you will check it. That's it. That's a basic function. If that basic functionality is working, later you can go very deep. So that basic functionality testing is called smoke testing. So who will do that? Testers. When you get a build first time, you will perform the smoke testing on the build. Smoke testing means, what is meant by smoke testing?
Basic test.
Basic functionality testing. If one test case is working, the basic flow, and the remaining you can continue first of all. So that's smoke testing, we call that. So then once a smoke test is passed, then you will tell development team, yeah, so basic testing is working. We will continue further detailed testing. And then you will send a mail, okay, basic testing is working, I'll continue the detailed testing. So then you will execute one by one test case. One by one test case you will execute. So while execution time, you don't need to complete everything one day. Maybe maximum you'll execute, 10 or 15 test cases or 10 test cases if it is a complex. If it is a small one, you can finish in, so quickly maybe 10. If it is a complex, you can finish maximum 5, not more than that. If it is a complex flow. So that's why you have to be very careful. It's a complex flow, normal flow. You have to see that. Well, execution, that's why you'll write a test cases in advance. Before you're getting a build, before coding completes, you have to finish test case design. Then you make sure it is reviewed by your team and development team and many people. Okay. That's the process will complete before you get a build. That means coding completion before what you need to finish as a tester. Test case design and review. Review of your test cases. In the review, what they will tell, whether the test cases are correct or not, whether you are covering all the requirements or not, that is what they will check in the review process. If you are missing anything, they will tell, okay, you missed this test case. You add this test case in the document. So that process should finish before your testing phase. That's a verification process, we call them, right? So that's before your actual testing, validation starting before the verification will complete. So what is the verification activities? Requirements understanding, test case designing, reviewing. These are the 3 activities of a tester. Once that is done, you wait for the build. Once build is ready, you first perform the smoke testing. Smoke testing means what? To ensure that there are no blockers, showstopper bugs in the application before conducting a detailed testing. That is called smoke testing. Or you can say simply a basic functionality testing. And simply you can say it's a cursory testing. So very high level, not very deep. That's a smoke testing. So when you will do this, when you get a build first time for testing, that time only will do smoke testing. Not all the test cases. So very basic functionality testing you will perform on the smoke test, on the build. Okay, once that is done, each test case you will execute one by one on the given build. If test case passes, status will change to pass. If test case fails, you will change the status of a test case to fail. If any test case fails, make sure you report that in the defect tracking tool. You have to report how you got that bug. So what is your expectation? What is application behavior currently? Both are not matching. That's a defect, right? You report the defect. How to report a defect? So write a summary. Maybe some link is not working, or mail is not sending, or mail is not received. These are all the general examples I'm giving. Summary will give, high level summary. Then write a steps to reproduce. What steps? Okay, launch the browser, launch the application, open the application URL, and give the URL, what URL you are opening, which browser you are opening also, you tell that. Then what is the next step? Then what is the next step? Until you got a bug, till that page, all the steps you have to write. What data you have used also you have to write. That's a reproducible steps, we call that. And you write it. What is your expected result? What is your actual result? This will be there in the test case document. These steps also will be there in the test case document. That's why everything base is a test case document. To write the test cases, the base is requirement document. So once that is done, all the test cases every day, maybe they will give time. So 2-3 days or 4 days testing time they will give. During that time, you have to finish it. So once the first day, maybe you found 3 bugs, and it is assigned to the developer. You report the defect, and it went to development team queue. So developers will ask for clarification. Anything you have to attend and give the explanation. How you got this bug, you have to show them back. If they are not able to reproduce with what are the steps you have written, it's your responsibility to show them. So how you got the bug, you have to show that. Okay, make sure you show that. So that's the process. Once all the test cases are executed and you got some 10 bugs or 15 bugs, so developers will keep fixing them and giving back to you. Again, you have to re-verify them. That is called retesting. So what do you call that? Retesting. So fixed bugs, you have to retest. First time when you test, it failed. And the developer is saying, okay, I fixed this. Now you test it back. That is called retesting. Testing the fixed bugs again on the latest build is called bug fix verification or retesting, we call that. So retesting, you will do only failed test cases only. You won't do passed test cases. Failed test cases only you will retest. So that's the retesting means. And what is a regression testing? So once you verified all the bugs, all the test case execution is completed. Now finally, one more time, you need to test from the scratch. All the test cases you need to execute. Why? Because when you are testing, but yesterday you tested, there again developer modified again code. We don't know, right? Again, it is going to break there or not, because you are not testing that again, because you are going to other pages. Your testing is in the middle, and some bugs you filed yesterday and developer fixed that, but in that fixed area, he might introduce one more bug also. We don't know. Until unless if you're not testing, you cannot confirm that. That is called regression testing. Regression testing means what? To ensure that there are no new bugs introduced in unchanged areas of the application. Previously, when you tested, it is working. Now, the developer fixed and modified some code in that area. There are no bugs when you test first time. Now he changed that area, something, it got broken. It broke. Then you will say a new bug there. That is called regression bug. So previously worked functionality is broken now. And now that one is called regression bug. That is called regression bug. So that regression issues, you have to be reported again. So let them take care. So they will take care, and until they fixes them, you make sure tracking that, and then they will file that. They will file that. They will fix them and give it to you back immediately. Okay, so that is called a regression testing. So in the regression testing, you will test both passed and failed test cases. And in the regression also, you are not able to find any issues, then give a sign off. Sign off means what? You are certifying the assigned task and test cases and requirements all are fulfilled, working fine, no bugs at all, and you are certifying. That's a certifying is nothing but a sign off. So last day of your the sprint ending or something we call that. After that, so you are not going to test because that is going to move to deployment. So next one is once you signed off, and based on your sign off, and the development team and DevOps team will take that code and deploy in the next level environment. Once that environment is ready, very small high level testing will be done by business team. Business team will perform that testing, and then it will be given to the client. So this is the whole process. And whenever you start a new requirements, again, start from the scratch. Requirements gathering, understanding the requirements. Again, your tester will do tester work. Development team will do development work. So in the SDLC process, both development and testing activities will be conducted by that different team members. But testing activities are different. That is SDLC, we call that. Tomorrow we'll discuss that. Today I'm just closing here. Okay. So I'm going to close in the next 5 minutes. We'll see that tomorrow. Okay. So that is the whole development process. In the development process, you have a development people, product owners, development managers, QA managers, testers, everybody, DevOps team, all different teams will be there. Those teams will be available so for doing all their different tasks. Okay, so that is called entire software development lifecycle process. Any questions? Okay. Thank you. So if you don't have any questions, so please go through this and come back. Yeah.
Sure, Ramesh. Thank you.
Tomorrow we'll see rest of the testing process. I'll explain tomorrow.
Thank you.